Hey guys, I'm back with a new teacup, and boy, let me tell you, this one was a handful. This is Violet's teacup, and you'll see why shortly. She's got beautiful violet purple flowers on her, and it was my first kind of navigation away from doing pinks. So I was a little nervous, but I gave it a shot, and I will tell you, halfway through this painting, I thought I would stop and just not finish it. That's how much trouble she gave me. So, of course, we start with the 3-grid method of sketching. This cup had a really unique shape. It was kind of bulbous at the top, and then it went in at the bottom. And man, it had a really cool handle, which you'll see me drawing in just a second. See how it's like pointed at the top, and it was like thick and thin in different spots. So there was a lot of erasing and redoing, as you can see. But once I get this cup fully drawn, I just started in with the problems. Actually, maybe it's when I was in the drawing process that she started giving me issues, because I erased a lot. See that dip I just made? It was too dippy. It was too dark. No, too deep. That's the word I'm looking for. So anyways, once I eventually got it all sketched out, the saucer had some fun little scalloping in the edging, which I do like because that's where the gold goes. It was time to start on, you guessed it, the main part of the cup for painting. Don't worry, I will catch up with my drawing in just a moment. I always start with the biggest part of the cup because, frankly, it's the biggest thing I see right in front of me, and if I can get the lighting down on that, I feel pretty good to move on, as you've heard me say in my other videos. So we start with this one, and I have to kind of get the shadow of that rounded part on the top and the light coming in from the left. I did run into my first issue right there where some paint got too wet and came back off the canvas, so I had to use my little fan that I keep in my room to dry it first and then go back over it and fix it. And now I'm just adding in all the kind of shadowing so that I can start on the flowers in a moment. But once I got the saucer painted with the lighting on the left, of course, and the shadowing on the right, it was time to do flowers, just like I said. And I did my diluted painting with purple this time and green for the leaves, and kind of laid out where everything was going to go, and then went back in. And first, right off the bat, it was too dark. I did my second flower, liked it better, and went back and needed to change the first flower, but for some reason, it just was not getting light enough for me. So I let it dry and moved on to these leaves. And I ran into a similar issue with the leaves also, where I had painted them too dark for what I wanted. They didn't look connected to the cup was my main issue. They were looking too like stand out, too whatever, however you're going to say that. They stood out from the cup too much. So as you can see, I went in and kind of put a wash over them, and then kind of played with those first initial flowers again until I got them where I wanted. Then I could move on. And I moved on to the next flowers, and these flowers did kind of vary in purple with a pink tone and purple with a blue tone. So I just tried to honestly take it one flower at a time and not even like mix up a lot of paint for all the flowers. It was really just mixing up a little bit of paint for each flower and then moving on. So I tried to move on and add in the leaves as I went, which at this point they were feeling okay, but I will tell you, this is the exact point where I took a week off because I did not think I was going to finish this painting. It felt like I spent way too much time on those other flowers. And when I came back to it, I decided that I would finish it. And that's where I started working on these flowers that you see me working on. So I was very hesitant to continue, but once I got these flowers done, I just tried to keep it simple, keep the paints light, keep my darks not too dark. and get everything kind of just put in and be happy with it, you know? Then I got to start on the saucer and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already time to do the saucer. The cup is done. So I had some troubles again with the saucer. The flowers would either be too dark or too, just too detailed for me, but eventually I got it and it was time to move on to the handle, which does have a nice big old gold stripe through it. So I leave that alone. Then I had to get this lip, you know, showing the light on the left and some shadow on the right. And it was time for the bottom already. I could not believe it. I'm going to be honest with you. So I am putting in the bottom, and this is my permanent object shadow. Again, I ran into some issues, but I fixed it. I had to dry it. And then I have the actual shadow on the right side that I worked on. Man, this is going so fast. Then it's time for the top part of the background, and I just work in, like I always say, the light on the left and then the darker stuff on the right. And here I'm trying to work in it to be dark but not too dark, so I kind of go back and forth there and then just fill in the rest, and that's done. Now it's time for the gold. I did the thin little gold lip. I had to go back and forth erasing this because I would put on paint and it would be too thick for what I wanted and take it back off. So there was a lot of back and forth with this lip. And then it was time for the saucer, showing the darker golds where they were kind of brown, and then the lighter golds were very yellow and coral in this cup. And then it was time for the handle, which had a very interesting shadow running through it. But honestly, I really love how it turned out. When I show kind of the close-ups, you'll have to take a look at it. And then it was done. All the frustration was over and I couldn't believe it was done. Honestly, it felt like it took so long to paint this painting, but I do love how she turned out, and I hear she is some people's favorites. So here's Violet, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Even though she and I got a little bit of a tough going on, she's great. I love her. Thanks for watching.